Irina Sendelrowa, a Polish humanitarian, social worker, and nurse, played a crucial role in the Polish underground resistance during World War II, specifically in German-occupied Warsaw. Beginning in October 1943, she assumed the leadership of the children's section of Zagoda, the Polish Council to Aid Jews. Following the German invasion in September 1939, Sendler's workplace, the Municipal Social Welfare Department, was ordered by the German occupation authorities to expel Jewish staff and cease providing assistance to the Jewish population in Warsaw. Undeterred by these restrictions, Sendler engaged in clandestine activities, collaborating with a network of workers and volunteers, predominantly women, from the Social Welfare Department. Her primary focus was on rescuing Jewish children from the Warsaw Ghetto. This involved smuggling them out and providing them with fabricated identity documents and refuge in the care of sympathetic Polish families, orphanages, and even Catholic nun convents, thereby shielding them from the horrors of the Holocaust. Suspected of involvement in the Polish underground, Sendler was apprehended by the Gestapo in October 1943. Despite enduring torture and imprisonment, she steadfastly refused to disclose any information about her activities or reveal the whereabouts of the rescued Jewish children. Importantly, she managed to conceal a list containing the names and locations of the saved children, preventing the Gestapo from obtaining this critical information. Throughout the war, providing assistance to Jews in German-occupied Poland was punishable by death, not only for the individuals involved but also for their entire families. In October 1941, such acts became increasingly perilous. Sentenced to death, Sendler narrowly escaped execution on the scheduled day due to a bribe that secured her release, orchestrated by fellow Welfare Department activist Maria Palister, with funds provided by Zagoda chief Julian Grobelny. Sendler's leadership and dedication inspired an extensive network that saved numerous Jewish children. Lists of these hidden children were discreetly buried in jars by Sendler and her collaborators to keep track of their original and new identities, with the ultimate goal of reuniting them with their families post-war. Recognizing her extraordinary bravery and humanitarian efforts, Israel granted Sendler honorary citizenship in 1991. She received the Commander's Cross of the Order of Polonia Restituta on June 12, 1996, followed by an upgraded version, the Commander's Cross with Star, on November 7, 2001. Pope John Paul II commended her wartime contributions in a personal letter in 2003. On November 10, 2003, Sendler was bestowed with the Order of the White Eagle for her outstanding contributions to humanity. Karl Lutz, a distinguished Swiss diplomat, served as the Swiss vice-consul in Budapest, Hungary, from 1942 until the conclusion of World War II. His unwavering commitment to humanitarian efforts during the Second World War stands as a testament to his remarkable courage and resourcefulness. Credited with saving an extraordinary number of lives, Lutz played a pivotal role in orchestrating a colossal rescue operation that safeguarded over 62,000 Jews, preventing their deportation to Nazi extermination camps and ensuring the survival of half of Budapest's Jewish population during the Holocaust. Lutz swiftly forged alliances with the Jewish Agency for Israel, initiating a collaborative effort that would ultimately prove instrumental in rescuing thousands. He issued Swiss safe conduct documents, facilitating the emigration of nearly 10,000 Hungarian Jewish children. As the Nazis assumed control of Budapest in 1944 and initiated mass deportations of Jews to death camps, Lutz skillfully negotiated a unique arrangement with the Hungarian government and the Nazis, securing permission to issue protective letters for the emigration of 8,000 Hungarian Jews to Palestine. Lutz ingeniously applied this quota to families instead of individuals. This strategic move enabled him to extend protection to tens of thousands more. All recipients of protective letters sequentially numbered between 1 and 8,000. Lutz's ingenuity extended to the establishment of 76 safe houses scattered throughout Budapest, declared as annexes of the Swiss legation. These safe houses became sanctuaries, shielded from Hungarian forces and Nazi soldiers. The renowned Glass House at Vadash Street 29, where approximately 3,000 Hungarian Jews found refuge, stands as a poignant symbol of Lutz's extraordinary efforts. His daring act of jumping into the Danube River to rescue a wounded Jewish woman, confronting fascist Arrow Cross Party militiamen, no one dared to stop him as they fearing to shoot this tall man who seemed to be important and spoke so eloquently. Undeterred by personal risk, Lutz worked tirelessly for months, navigating the challenges posed by German and Hungarian authorities. His diplomatic acumen and persuasive skills were pivotal in dissuading Hungarian and Nazi German officials from their genocidal plans. In November 1944, The extent of Lutz's interference in the Nazi genocide was so significant that the German representative in Hungary sought permission to assassinate the Swiss consul, an action that Berlin never sanctioned. Despite such threats, Swiss minister Maximilian Jäger continued to support Lutz until his departure in late 1944, ordered by the Swiss government as the Soviet army approached. Lutz's heroic actions earned him numerous honors throughout his life. Karl Lutz's legacy is one of unparalleled courage and compassion, a shining example of humanity in the face of unimaginable adversity. Sir Nicholas George Winton, a British stockbroker and humanitarian, emerged as a hero during the Holocaust by undertaking a remarkable mission to rescue Jewish children imperiled by Nazi Germany. His pivotal efforts centered on the rescue of 669 children, predominantly of Jewish descent, from Czechoslovakia on the brink of World War II. During a brief visit to Czechoslovakia, Winton meticulously compiled a list of children facing imminent danger, and upon his return to Britain, he dedicated himself to fulfilling the legal requisites for bringing these children to safety. This involved navigating bureaucratic hurdles, finding suitable homes and sponsors for the children, and ensuring compliance with the regulatory framework. Winton's mother actively collaborated with him in the placement of these children, mobilizing a team of sponsors and later overseeing their transition to homes and hostels. Throughout the summer, Winton strategically employed advertisements to appeal to British families, urging them to open their homes to these at-risk children. In total, 669 children were successfully evacuated from Czechoslovakia to Britain through Winton's tireless efforts. Recognizing the urgency of the situation, he extended his plea for assistance to U.S. politicians, including President Franklin D. Roosevelt, imploring them to accept more children and potentially save additional lives. Winton estimated that if more aid had been provided, up to 2,000 more children might have been spared from the clutches of the Holocaust. Remarkably, Winton's extraordinary humanitarian achievements remained concealed from the world for nearly 5 decades. In 1988, the revelation of a detailed scrapbook in his attic, containing comprehensive lists of the rescued children, their parents' names, and the details of the families that took them in, brought his story to light. This discovery set the stage for a poignant reunion on the BBC television program That's Life, where Winton was joyfully reconnected with numerous children he had helped transport to safety. Winton's selfless acts earned him widespread acclaim and numerous honors for his extraordinary services to humanity during one of the darkest chapters in human history. Oskar Schindler, a German industrialist and member of the Nazi Party, stands out as a humanitarian credited with rescuing 1,200 Jews during the Holocaust. In 1939, Schindler's enterprise employed around 1,750 workers in 1944, with 1,000 of them being Jewish. Leveraging his connections within the Nazis, he shielded his Jewish workforce from deportation and the horrors of Nazi concentration camps. As Germany faced impending defeat in July 1944, the SS commenced the closure of eastern concentration camps, triggering the deportation of remaining prisoners westward, many meeting their fate in camps like Auschwitz. In a daring move, Schindler convinced an SS commandant to relocate his factory, sparing his workers from almost certain death in gas chambers. Persistent bribery of SS officials by Schindler persisted until the conclusion of World War II in Europe in May 1945, depleting his entire fortune on bribes and black market acquisitions to ensure his workers' safety. Witnessing the atrocity, Schindler's perspective on the Nazis shifted dramatically. Determined to save as many lives as possible, he orchestrated the transfer of 700 men and 300 women from Auschwitz to the safety of Brunlitz through relentless negotiations and bribes. Additionally, Schindler arranged for the relocation of 3,000 Jewish women from Auschwitz to small textiles plants in the Sudetenland, strategically aiming to enhance their survival prospects. As the Red Army approached, he continued his bribery tactics to prevent the slaughter of his workers. On May 7, 1945, Schindler and his workers gathered on the factory floor, hearing British Prime Minister Winston Churchill announce the surrender of Germany and the end of the war in Europe over the radio, a moment of both relief and triumph after years of perilous endeavors. Post-war, facing business failures, Schindler experienced bankruptcy in 1958 and relied on financial assistance from the very people he had saved during the war. He is the subject of the 1982 novel Schindler's Ark, and the novel was adapted in the movie Schindler's List by director Steven Spielberg in 1993. Johann Willem van Hulst, a Dutch school director, university professor and politician, etched his name in history through a courageous act of resistance during World War II. In 1943, with the collaborative efforts of the Dutch resistance and students from the nearby University of Amsterdam, He played a pivotal role in the rescue of more than 600 Jewish children from the nursery of the Holland Schouwburg, sparing them from the grim fate of deportation to Nazi concentration camps. During this period, Van Hulst held the position of director at the Reformed Teacher Training College, situated at Plantage Middenlane 27, Amsterdam. Across the street, at Plantage Middenlane 24, loomed the Holland Schouwburg Theatre, serving as a central assembly point for Jews in Amsterdam facing deportation notices from the Nazi government. The children arriving at the Schouwburg were cruelly separated from their families, prompting Van Hulst to orchestrate a clandestine operation. In a display of remarkable ingenuity, Van Hulst and his collaborators, including teachers in training and university students, facilitated the covert transfer of children across the hedge that divided the backyards of the creche and the teachers' college. When the time came to relocate the rescued children from the school premises, they would be concealed in containers such as bags, sacks, or laundry baskets. Various tactics were employed, one involving waiting for a passing tram to obstruct the view of Nazi guards at the facing Holland Schouwburg, allowing the operatives to cycle away unnoticed with the hidden child. Van Hulst, reflecting on this challenging chapter, later shared the emotional turmoil of having to choose which children to save, a decision burdened by the awareness that those left behind faced an inevitable demise. He said, "That was the most difficult day of my life, as you know for a fact that the children you leave behind are going to die. I took 12 with me. Later on I asked myself, why not 13? Despite the heart-wrenching choices, he managed to rescue 12 children, a number strategically chosen to avoid arousing suspicion among the Germans and risking the shutdown of the operation. In the end, they were able to rescue 501,000 Jewish babies and children, which earned Johann Willem van Hulst the prestigious Yad Vashem distinction of Righteous Among the Nations from the State of Israel in 1973, acknowledging his indomitable spirit and humanitarian actions during a tumultuous period in history. There are still few heroes like Freddy Overstegen, a member of the Dutch resistance during World War II, stands among these courageous figures. Alongside her older sister Truus and friend Hannie Schaft, Freddy actively worked to undermine the Nazi military presence in the Netherlands. Employing dynamite, they disabled bridges and railroad tracks, while also engaging in the clandestine transportation of Jewish children out of the country and aiding their escape from concentration camps. Freddy's bravery extended to direct confrontations, as she became the first of the trio to shoot a German soldier while riding her bicycle. The trio's ingenious tactics included inviting soldiers for forest strolls and luring them under the guise of romantic encounters, ultimately leading to their demise. Chun Sugihara, a Japanese diplomat in Kaunas, Lithuania and Jan Zwartendijk, showcased extraordinary courage during the Holocaust, as he defied orders from the Japanese Foreign Ministry, risking his job and the safety of his family. Sugihara issued transit visas to thousands of Jews. Being aware that applicants were in great danger, Sugihara continued to handwrite visas, reportedly spending 18 to 20 hours a day until September 4, when he had to leave his post before the consulate was closed. Witnesses recount his last-minute efforts, as he was still writing visas while in transit from hotel and after boarding the train. In final desperation, blank sheets of paper with the consulate seal and his signature were prepared and thrown out to desperate refugees from a moving train, demonstrating an unparalleled commitment to saving lives. As he prepared to depart, he said, "Please forgive me. I cannot write anymore. I wish you the best." The total number of Jews saved by Sugihara is in dispute, with estimates around 6,000, and Jan Zwartendijk supervised the writing of 2,345 visas to save Jews from the Holocaust during World War II. Beyond the recognized heroes of the Holocaust, there are countless unsung individuals who courageously risked their lives to play pivotal roles in rescuing Jews from the horrors of Nazi atrocities during World War II. While we may not have listed all their names, we honor and remember each one who, through their selfless efforts, assisted in saving hundreds and thousands of lives during this dark chapter in history. Their unwavering commitment to humanity serves as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity.